Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode. This is going to be your watch list for Thursday, October 13th. Thank you guys for tuning in today. We're going to go through the top 5 plays that I give out to the Griswold Gold members, and then we're going to go through the actual watch list right after that. Before we get started on that, I want to go through a few things. Number 1, you can find me on Twitter at Mr. Clark Griswold. Number 2, this platform that you see here is called TradingView. So if you're looking for a platform like this to chart your trades, this is how I chart all of my trades. There's a link in the description below. You can click on that link and get a free 30-day trial to their subscription-based service. And then if you like the way that service is for you, then you can get up to $30 off of that subscription. But you need to start by clicking on that link below and go get your free 30-day trial on TradingView. The second thing I want to go through, I do have a Discord. It's called Griswold Trading. The link for that is also in the description below. And everything that I offer for you guys, whether it's free or fee-based, can be found in that Discord room. So I do have a Griswold Gold membership. It includes one-on-ones, group sessions, the TradingView Strat trading bot that I've created, all the strat indicators all into one. It's got a 1-hour strat course that I've created. Takes you from entries and exits all the way to broadening formations. So that's in as part of the membership. I think I mentioned the live trading bots. You get the top 5. You get ad-free YouTube videos. So all of that can be found in the Discord. All that information is listed there for you guys, and to all the members, thank you guys very much. I appreciate all of you. And even the subscribers here and the followers on Twitter, I really, really do appreciate every single one of you guys. So thank you for tuning in, subscribing, liking, and sharing. And while we're at it, why don't you go down and click that subscribe button right now and give me a thumbs up and maybe leave a comment. I'm trying to get this stuff out to help as many people as possible. That's my goal. And if you guys can help out with that by sharing this video or liking it or giving a comment on it, all those things help the algorithm to help get this stuff out to more and more people, to grow the strat community, and to show people that trading really, really can be this easy, okay? And if you guys focus on this stuff for, let's say, 6 months to a year, you will be really, really proficient at trading the strat. I promise you that. Let's get started on this watch list. Actually, let's go through the videos or the plays that I gave out as a top 5 yesterday and just review them really quick. So the first one I've got on the list is CCL. So CCL, we had a 2 down that finished green with the hammer candle. And we look for the trigger and we look for the target. So simple thing, we just go down to the 5. And we hop back to the opening bar on CCL. And a lot of you guys have asked for these videos. I think it's just easier for me to do it at the start, just to go through. Saves me some time from doing multiple videos, as I do have a family and it's hard for me to consistently create videos for you guys. Although I do like doing it, I love my family too. So here is that trigger line. Here is that first bar. So we open down here and we come up and we tag that first target. So realistically, your first your stop loss would either be at the bottom of this 5-minute candle or your trigger, neither of which hit. Then we open this bar and we come up. And so now you can have your stop loss at the bottom of the candle or the target. And then we get this inside bar and your stop loss just goes at the bottom of that inside bar. So this was a really, really good trade. Did it trend way, way up higher a lot more? Yeah, it sure did. But I look for those trades in the morning to really establish what I'm looking for and try and take my gains early and be done with it. And it actually looks like we opened and went above this target. So whether you took profits at this target or at the bottom of the inside bar, opportunity for CCL to make some money. Moderna, well, Moderna, we had this big gap up. Where is the trigger here? There's the trigger, and we gapped up in the morning. So if you wanted to look how to play Moderna on the gap, you could have played it on the 15 if you wanted, or at least tried it on the 15. So this was the first bar. You're looking for the break of that first bar. So there is your trigger off the top of that outside bar. and then you need to look for targets. You need to go back in time and look at targets, and there you go. We filled that gap. Okay, you can see that white dotted line come across back to that outside bar. We hit exactly what we were supposed to do and then came back down. So another winning trade on Moderna. Let's go to plug, and we'll switch down to the 5-minute on plug and see where we triggered in on the 12th. It looks like plug gapped down as well. So plug gap down, we go to the 15-minute bar. And this looks like the first 15 here. I better just make sure this gapped before we get too far ahead of ourselves. It didn't gap. It went the opposite direction. So my bad. We look for this to trend up. It actually trended down in a continuation on the 2 down on the week. So again, we can skip past plug. We go to Twitter. Twitter finished inside bar, so we have a double inside bar. We'll talk about that one. And Pfizer was the last one. Pfizer was a really good trade today as well. We opened here, came through triggers, and hit targets. So with this one, we hop down to the 5-minute again, go back to the opening bar right here, and we had a really good trade on Pfizer. So realistically, guys, any of these top 5s that I gave out to the members, if you would have played them, you would have had really great success. So this big hammer candle was the opening bar. Then this second 5-minute bar we triggered, came up. Your stop loss through that target goes there. Then we come up through that second target. And that second target, guys, that just becomes your stop loss. So we put it in right here at the bottom of that second target. Okay, and as we move as this candle moves back through, we're out of the trade, and we had a really, really excellent trade again. So out of the top 5 that I gave to the members, CCL, and you guys got these as well. Anybody who's not in the membership also got these plays. I just didn't specifically mark them out. But CCL, Moderna, Plug, Twitter, and Pfizer. Pfizer worked out. Moderna you could have played off of the 15, and CCL worked out really well. The other 2 didn't trigger. So 3 for 3 on any of those that you could have taken as they were given out. So let's go back to Twitter. We'll go to the daily. It's a double inside bar. We're going to talk about inside bars. So if you guys are new to this stuff, I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad you guys are taking the time to learn a new strategy and learn how to trade this stuff, because it really is the easiest stuff that you will ever learn, the easiest way to trade. Regardless of the strategy, guys, the biggest thing for anybody is, because anybody can, you don't need any skills to trade. You can come in and click a button and win a trade. And you can come in and click a button and lose a trade. It's the consistency that we're looking for, because anybody can click a mouse button or a mouse pad and make a trade. But it's the consistency and how we get to that consistency and the emotional part of it that really, really we need to concentrate on. But we're going to go through the setups here, and we do talk about trying to manage it and manage the emotions as well. I try and talk about it as much as I can in these videos, but that is your biggest struggle for any trader, is to not trade without emotion, but control those emotions and control the risk. So inside bars. If you guys don't know about inside bars, we're going to talk about them. So inside bars, or a 1 bar, that's these candlestick numbers. That's part of the Griswold strat. You can buy it separately or get it in the membership. Inside bars don't break the high, and they do not break the low. They stay within the range of the previous candle. So this inside bar didn't break the high and low of the previous inside bar, and as this one also did not break the high or the low, just stayed within the range. So it's a consolidating candle. The bears don't know if it's going down. The bulls don't know if it's going up. Nobody knows which way this thing is going to be taken. And so we have consolidating. And when you see those yellow bars, they're painted like that because of the Griswold strat indicator. When you see those yellow bars, I want you guys to think of a spring being loaded and compacted and tightened. And when you release that thing, you want it to explode in one direction or the other. Now, this is just a single inside bar, but you can see how it reacted with this big run down and a really good gain. Now, if we go back in time, we're going to look for this blue highlight because that's also part of the Griswold Strat indicator, and that notifies us that there was a double inside bar. So there was a double inside bar, and you can see we triggered here, and we hit targets, and we hit targets up here as well. Just tagged it. So really successful double inside bar trade. They don't happen very often. They're very rare. Here's another one. You can see I'm not sure if that was a gap. It's pretty close, but we can say we triggered and then we came all the way down for another really successful play. So we've got that on Twitter now. Double inside bars. And realistically, it is just an inside bar. It's an actionable signal, but we've got two actionable signals in one. So it's an inside bar and an inverse hammer or shooter candle. So we're going to look for puts on this thing at 81 based on that shooter candle. And there's one target, and I'm actually going to move that down there because they are so close. Or we can look for calls at $50.50. So either way, and I like to play as close to the money or close to the trigger price as I can. So if we take these for puts and the trigger is 49.81, my strike price, I'm going to look for 49 or 49.50 if it's there. And then I take the closest expiry, so Twitter's probably Friday for the expiry. Let's move on to CVS. Actually, I want to go over SPY because SPY has a inside bar as well, and I don't want to miss it. So SPY's got this inside bar, shooter candle. So again, two actionable signals in one. We've got full time frame continuity to the downside. This is also part of the Griswold Strat indicator. And we do have CPI tomorrow, so they're calling for 8.1. Me personally, I think it's going to end up being higher. And if that happens, you can expect this to trend down tomorrow. If it's lower, then you can expect it to trend up. But we are set up right now to trend down. We can look for puts at 356.30, first targets marked, or we can look for calls at 359.82. Now, let's move on. We'll go to CVS. Inside bar shooter candle. And let's mark this out. I thought I had these marked, but the market is moving. So there we go. We can look for calls at 89.57. Puts at 87.85. And what did I do here? That should be yellow. Let's mark that in yellow. 87.79 is the target to the bottom, or the trigger to the bottom side. We'll move on to IBM. IBM inside bar as well. Calls at 118.81, puts at 117.57. We've got this full time frame continuity to the downside. This pink line tells me that we are already two down on the week. We're sitting below it, so we can look probably for a continuation on the weekly. For this to trend down. Now, does it happen? Our trades are based off of probabilities, guys. So when that happens, we don't know what the next candlestick's going to be. We can have some probability of what we think it is probably going to do, but that doesn't mean much until it actually happens. So we trade what we see. So if it triggers, we'll take it. If it targets, we'll take our money. NVIDIA inside bar, a ton of these. I sent out a video for you guys to watch prior to this about inside bars, and it goes into a little bit more depth, but this is the majority of what today or what Thursday is showing. So again, full time frame, puts at 113.45, calls at 117.35. Apple was one of the ones that did not have an inside bar. We had a 2 down that finished red, shooter candle. So we're going to look for a 2-2 continuation on Apple. And our first target is this pink line, which would send us 2 down on the week on Apple. Hey, American Airlines, AAL, inside bar, but it's a fat inside bar, so this would not be something that would be on my top 5. But I'll tell you what, SPY would be, and so would Twitter. So I just gave you 2 free top 5 plays, SPY and Twitter. The other 3, they're a mystery unless you're in the group. Inside bar, calls at 12.83, puts at 11.98. First targets to the downside marked. First target to the upside now is also marked. AMD inside bar hammer candle. It's actually a 3-1 setup, so these are actually rare patterns as well. And you can see it's marked gold, another part of the Griswold Strat indicator. $25 one-time fee if you're buying it separately, or it's included in the membership, which is $50 a month, plus you get one-on-ones, you get the top fives, you get ad-free videos, all kinds of other good stuff. So this 3-1 setup ended up going outside bar, so they don't always work, and that's why I like to go back and show you guys. We're not going to go back any further because we have a ton of plays to go through. So let's move on to Amazon. Amazon with an inside bar, and we can look for calls at 113.83, puts at 111.40. BA is Boeing, 2 down green. We're going to look for calls at 131.34, and really great magnitude up to this top side, and we've already gone 2 up on the week. So this is a $4 move if we can get it on Boeing. First target's at 135.36. Let's continue on. Citibank, 2 down, finish green. And there are not very many of these outside the inside bars. There's not a lot of 2-2 reversal setups. So we can look for calls at 41.36, 20-cent magnitude to the upside. CRM has an inside bar, calls at 143.44, puts at 139.58. CVX, inside bar. Are we going to continue up, or is it going to be a 2-1-2 continuation? We'll see. Calls at 158.81, puts at 155.52. The diamonds, DIA, inside bar, shooter candle / inverse hammer, puts at 291.37, calls at 294.57. Let's move on to Disney. Disney, 2 down, finish green. We can look for calls at 94.07. Cisco was an inside bar. It has now gone 2-2 continuation, so it's 2 down. We'll take Cisco off the list. DraftKings, inside bar. We can look for calls at 13.69, puts at $12.80. Etsy, inside bar. Calls at 108.25, puts at 102.89. Ford Motor Company, inside bar, actually a 3-1 setup. Let's go check the last time Ford had that 3-1. There was a couple in a row there way back when. And here you go. Triggered, target, target. And that one gapped down. So I tell you guys this quite often. Every candlestick tells a story, and you need to be able to learn to read that story. And the more you look at this stuff, the more time you spend, the more diligent you are, the easier it'll be to read these stories. And they sound simple enough, but they take work. So basically, this inside bar, this candlestick is telling you a story. It's saying, if I break to the high side, you can buy me. If I hit first targets, you can sell me. And these targets are part of that candlestick story. And the reversals on the 5-minute chart are part of that story. So the quicker and the easier, how do I phrase this? The more time you put in, the easier. This is just like reading a book. I want you guys to start with small little sentences, and then we're going to grow into large, full paragraphs, and you guys are going to be reading this stuff like a novel. Okay, so that's a setup on Ford. Calls at 11.70, puts at 11.35, but we do have time frame continuity to the upside right now. Google, inside bar, we can take calls at 99.65, puts at 97.67, and this actually is a 3-1 setup on the Google machine. IWM, in 3-1 setup again on IWM, hammer candle, so calls at 168.46, puts at 165.48. I'm going to have trouble putting together a top 5 on this stuff, I think. Keurig Dr. Pepper, let me go to the weekly here because I do see a pink line, and it is expired. So it's a 2-2 continuation on the week, and we're sitting inside bar. We can call that a hammer candle. We'll look for calls at $38, puts at 37.51. Lululemon, higher premiums on this one. Calls at 302.87, puts at 292.12. Lyft, inside bar, calls 12.15, puts 11.50. Good magnitude to the downside. We are 2 down on the week already. I know that by that pink line. And time frame continuity, if we trend down, will be full to the downside. Macy's inside bar calls at 1787, puts at 1722. MU is Micron, 3-1 setup. The last time we had a 3-1, triggered down, and a little bit of profit there. We can look for calls at 53.77, puts at 52.39. Palantir inside bar, hammer candle, and actually a 3-1 setup. So we can look for calls at 8.10, puts at 7.82. If we trend back and look at the last time we had a 3-1, how far am I going to have to go back? There's a double inside bar. There we go. 3-1 setup. Let's go check this thing out. And it looks like we had a good play on that one. All the way back to August of 21. Triggered, target, target. Couple targets hit. So good play on Palantir the last time we had that 3-1 setup. QQQ. All the major players, guys, have inside bars. Okay, QQQ, IWM, SPY, DIA. Inside bar. Full time frame to the downside. Puts 261.95, calls 265.36. Space inside bar, hammer candle, calls 481, puts 461. Target inside bar, shooter candle or inverse hammer. We can look for puts at 154.04, calls at 157. Guys, make sure you're giving me a thumbs up, and if you haven't yet, subscribe down below. I put these videos out for you guys every single day, and I've got 300 plus videos for you guys for free to learn this strategy to become more profitable, more consistent. XOM has an inside bar. We can look for calls at 98.91, puts at 97.23. And I also mentioned at the end, there's a playlist on the bottom right corner of this video. At the very end, as we trend to the end of the video, you can click on that playlist for more great learning tools, or the top right will show you the SPY, how to play SPY on the 30-minute chart as well. And you'll see Beyonce's at the end of the video. She's pointing for where you guys need to click. Inside bar on Beyond Meat, calls at 14.36, puts at 13.72. XLV 3-1 setup. This one moved a bit from when I marked it. So calls at 123.62, but we do have this full time frame to the downside. Looks like we're 2 down on the week already, so we'll look for puts at 121.90. First targets are not marked out, but let's do that together. There at 121.29. Shopify inside bar, calls at 26.45, puts at 25.26. So remember, guys, like I said before, you can look for SPY. What was the other one I gave you? Twitter, SPY and Twitter. Those are 2 out of the 5 for sure that will be on the top 5 list. But if you want more info on that, you can join the Griswold Gold membership. Again, make sure you're watching to the end of the video. Click on those playlists. Click on that SPY video. Subscribe down below. Join me on Twitter. Good luck trading on Thursday, guys. I wish you nothing but the best. If you have questions, make sure you ask me. I will help you guys out. And we will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.